This is our top 5 of the best AFL matches of the 2024 AFL home and away season. Number 5, we had Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn in round 10 at Adelaide Oval. Coming into this match, Port Adelaide had a massive win against Geelong at GMHBA Stadium, and Hawthorn were coming on a 2-game winning streak after starting 0-5. Hawthorn started magnificently. In the first quarter, they kicked 6 goals to 1 to get a 31-point lead at quarter time. Second and third quarter, it was quite an even match between both sides, but it still kept to be around that 5 to 6 goal margin in favour of Hawthorn. Heading into the last quarter, it was a 28-point margin at 3-quarter time. This is the moment where Hawthorn decided to just park the bus a bit and think they could hold on to a 5-goal lead, but the Power felt that they were not out of this game just yet. It did look like with a minute to go that Hawthorn were going to hang on to this win. Even Campbell Brown, who was broadcasting on Channel 7, even said this.
They're home now, but geez, there were some nervous moments.
Rioli kicked the goal for Port to get it to 5 points with 22 seconds to go, and then this happened.
Up it goes, clearance so important here. Who's going to get it? Butters will get it. Hoists it high inside the 50. They need a mark. Finlayson's there. D'Ambrosio roved it. Serious pressure on. Amon's tackled. Socket ball. He brings the house down. And he brings Port Adelaide back from the clouds to claim the most extraordinary win.
Darcy Byrne-Jones soccering off the ground with only a few seconds left in the game to give Port a memorable 1-point victory at Adelaide Oval. Number 4, we've got the last round contest between Carlton and St Kilda. Carlton was sitting at 8th spot heading into the last round, and just needing to beat St Kilda would confirm their spot in the finals. St Kilda knew that they were out of finals, but they did have a big win against Geelong last week, and they're looking to do the same against Carlton to dent their finals hopes. It was a tight first half between these two teams, but in the third quarter, St Kilda were able to get away to a 20-point lead halfway through the third quarter, and then Carlton were able to bounce back and get themselves the lead halfway through the last quarter. With the last 30 seconds of the game, Jake Higgins did this.
A mark will do. A mark will do. It won't help here now. Sinclair, Jones, they keep it moving. Higgins snap and bending back. It's a goal. Higgins has kicked the goal. He's got the goal.
Higgins' right foot snap with the last 10 seconds of the game to go was able to give St Kilda a win and dented Carlton's finals hopes. But for Carlton fans, they were okay with it because the only thing that they needed is Port Adelaide to beat Fremantle in the last game to keep themselves in finals, which in the end they did, and they'll verse Brisbane in the elimination final. Number 3, we got the round 19 clash between Brisbane and Sydney at the Gabba. At this time, Sydney were 3 games clear on top, but they were versing Brisbane at 4th, who were on a massive winning streak at this point. Brisbane came out firing in the first quarter. They had a big lead with a 4-goal margin at quarter time, but then Sydney bounced back to get themselves 7 points up at half time. At 3-quarter time, they had a 15-point lead heading into last quarter, but they did have a couple injuries, Tom Papley and Dan Ramping being the players out. It gave Brisbane a little bit of a chance to bounce back in the last quarter, which ended up being a topsy-turvy one, with league changes a few times, and then Archie kicked this goal.
Worked under the ball, Rayner not far away. It's Archie! Oh, he's kicked it! The Gabba erupts as one!
This was the goal that got Brisbane in front, and they were able to hold on and get a 2-point victory against Sydney. Number 2, we have Essendon versus the Adelaide Crows at Marvel Stadium in round 19. Gotta love watching a match that both teams score over 100 points and it ended up being a thriller. Essendon started well in the first quarter, but the Crows were able to bounce back. It was quite close at quarter time, and then Adelaide Crows pounced, got themselves to a 36-point lead close to half time, and then Essendon were able to bounce back, and they even got themselves the lead late in the third quarter. They had a 15-point lead halfway through the final quarter, and then Ben Keys and Darcy Fogarty were able to get the Crows back into the game, and then Josh Shelley kicked this goal.
Sending it over the line deliberately. Keys gets it back over the head of Kelly. Here's Rochelle. Rochelle kicks the goal, and later in front.
Shelley's goal put the Crows in front, and they did not look back as they were able to hold on and get a 2-point victory against Essendon at Marvel Stadium. With a lot of momentum swings and a high-scoring game, this definitely deserves to be the second best game of 2024. Number 1, we had Collingwood versus Carlton in round 21. Scott Pendlebury's 400th game and a big match between two old foes looking to get a final spot. This was set to be a classic. Scores were level at quarter time, even though Carlton kicked 1 goal 8 to Collingwood's 2 goals 2. And they only kicked the goal in the last few seconds when Harry Mackay kicked the goal in the pocket. The second quarter, Collingwood were able to get themselves ahead of the game, and they had a decent lead for a majority of the match. They were able to get themselves out to a 5-goal margin heading into the last quarter, and then Carlton were able to get themselves back into the game with a few goals, And then, with 30 seconds to go, Mitch McGovern went forward and took a mark and had a shot after the siren. He has been in this situation before against Collingwood after the siren, which he did with the Adelaide Crows in 2017 when he kicked a goal to secure a draw after being 50 points down in that match. This time was a bit different for McGovern. His kick went way to the right, didn't even register a score, and as Collingwood celebrated Scott Pendlebury's 400th game in style with a close win against their rivals. It was a hard list to create as there were so many great matches in 2024. Did we get this top 5 right, or was there any matches that I did miss that should be in there? Because there would be so many honourable mentions for this year. Let us know what you think of the top 5, if there's any games that you think should have been in there. And until next time, we'll see you later.